I have my microphone plugged in this week. I actually have my lights on to start. So we're starting off strong. Yeah.
I have my spectacles on so I can see.
I know. Kat's like a little librarian this week. She's a cute little librarian. Is that, what would they call it? Careerist?
Yes, I'm living my dark academia aesthetic right now.
Oh, that's so true. You are Doc?
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you. Doc academia.
Okay, let's roll right into that intro. Ba-ba-boom.
Sorry, can I point out really quick that I'm wearing the shirt that we bleached tie-dyed a couple weeks ago?
It looks so good.
Don't it,
looks
though?
So good.
Look at
it actually looks like paint splatters.
I know. It's so freaking dope. With like the one sleeve, anyway.
I love it. I love it.
Just wanted to point it out. Oh, sorry to people listening. Just go to YouTube and look at my shirt. Okay, go Kat, go.
So before we started this, like I literally had a moment of just forgetfulness, and I had an idea in my head, and it just gone. It was just like I could not recover what was going on until Dre was like, "Did you hear like Daft Punk is breaking up?" I'm like, "I heard they're retiring! Oh my god!" And I heard this comment on there because somebody like, "Well, why can't they just?" Because I was watching, I think it was TMZ. My parents always have that on for some reason. But one guy was like, "Why don't they just find somebody else?" I mean, they always wear a helmet, so it's not like
oh my god, that's not the point.
I'm like, no. I'm so upset. I was like, I like Daft Punk. Like, yes. I really like them.
You can't just be like, switch them out, they're wearing helmets. Like, there's a reason why they lasted for decades as a duo and were like so good. So I guess like, why do you like Daft Punk so much? Like, what was your origin story with the DF? Oh my god, they have the same initials as me. Go on.
I don't know. Anytime with like when I find music, and like Dre knows this, I am just like, I just stumble upon stuff. I literally type in random. This is literally how I find new artists, new songs, whatever, new albums. I will go into like songs and I will just type in random words. And like whatever pops up, I will just listen to it. And I go, yeah, no, yep, no. And when I got my Spotify, like my rewind for the year, it said I found over 500 new artists for this last year.
That means you found more than one new artist a day.
Yeah.
That's insane. Granted, I think they just counted as you listened to one person once, not that you like kept like repeating listening, but also what the hell do I know? So
I will literally, I think I stumbled upon, I don't remember how I found them, but I probably was one of my instances where I was just like typing in random stuff. And I was like, oh man, I really like that. Probably Tech and Daft. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. I like that. But yeah, I am not very crazy when it comes to my stories of finding new people. It is literally like me going into the task search bar and going, it's hot in here, or just something like that, or like fog window or something. Yeah. And like songs will pop up and I'll listen to them.
That's ingenious. So I feel like everyone forgets but also knows Daft Punk from Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, because I had no idea that they were the original curators of that song. So like when Kanye West came out with his version, when I was like, I don't know, a sophomore or a junior in high school or something, and like that song was all the rage, and my then high school friend person thing had to be like, no, like Daft Punk was like the first. And I was like, who's Daft Punk? And then like fast forward to 2013, that's why I was like looking at my phone, because they released Random Access Memories.
Yep.
which was like the really big album that they had, because that was a album that they had, Get Lucky, with Pharrell Williams.
Yes, that was a good one.
Dude, I was obsessed. And I remember like in the year 2013 and maybe 14, like my personality was liking Daft Punk and like that album. And so they have a little special place in my heart because I love them so much for a very short amount of time. But
Get Lucky, because that was in 2013. That was a really big year for me, because in 2012, that's when I had my shoulder injury, where I tore my labrum. And 2013 is when I actually got the surgery for my shoulder. And it was June when I went to Hawaii, and that's when Get Lucky was really big. And I was having a lot of issues with my shoulder still, because I didn't have a very good recovery. And I was going to Hawaii, and that was just playing all the time. And we went surfing, and I was just like singing that song in my head. And I kid you not, going surfing was the best thing I ever did for my shoulder. Like, my shoulder was locked in one position. And when I went surfing, in that constant like paddle motion, like released the muscles in my shoulder, and I actually could move it. It was awesome. So like, Get Lucky always triggers that memory of like when I finally was able to move my arm. And that was like 5 months post like shoulder surgery. And like usually people start to move their arm kind of like a month or so after it. I was just like, I can do it. I can move my arm. I can actually lift it up to like here instead of like down here. I actually moved a whole bunch. So it was like super awesome. So I was like, every time I hear Get Lucky, I'm just like, oh, that's when my shoulder started to move.
It's almost like your shoulder got lucky.
It did. I got lucky with my shoulder.
Yeah, you did.
I loved it. So that's like
so cute.
My memory of Daft Punk.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I will say, I just have a lot of memories from 2013. All the songs I dropped that year, because that was also Kesha dropped her Gold Trans Am.
Yep.
Or no, her Warrior, her Warrior album.
Warrior album. Yeah.
But Gold Trans Am was on there, and that was, if I ever had a stressful day during my internship, like that was the song I blasted like on the way home, like taking these backcountry roads. Dude, so good. And then that was the year that Lorde first hit the scene.
Yes, I remember, because I would listen to it on what was it, the New 25?
Yeah.
Yep. So I was listening to it on the New 25, and I, for some reason, I don't know what it was. So that same year, I don't know, I was a glutton for punishment that year. So that December, so the end of that year, I got my wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh, Jesus.
So once I got almost full range of motion in my shoulder, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my wisdom teeth out. And so I would literally like sit there, and I had like pillows around my head, and I was laying, and I was listening to Lorde. High as a kite, like.
Dude, Pure Heroin was a disgustingly good album, though. Like, that shit still slaps to this day.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
It's such a mood. It is honestly a mood. I love Lorde.
Oh, it's amazing, dude. She has not tripped once.
She's amazing.
She's so good.
No. Yes, queen.
Love her. I need her to come back out with music. Wasn't the last time she dropped music in like 2017 or something?
I think so. It's been a while. Unless she's done like collabs and I haven't seen it. But she's got some good stuff.
Oh, yeah, 2017. That was the last time she dropped her album. And there are no collabs, it looks like, within her recents. So,
well, I mean, she did really well on her other stuff, so it's kind of like you get royalties anyways. You bet.
I know.
You're royal.
Yeah. Dude, honestly. And I mean, like, but that's what I like about artists like her and like the 1975 and like a bunch of other artists.
Love 1975. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Don't get me started. It's a whole ass love affair with them. But they they take a long ass time between albums because they actually want to do it right instead of just like pumping out songs for cash grabs. And like I really respect that. But I mean, I also respect the hustle of people who do that. I just think the quality is just way higher. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I understand.
Shows. Yeah.
But it's
awesome. Yeah.
I liked all the stuff she put out.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved her. So many memories. It makes me think of like college.
Dude.
Like all those songs make me think of college and like everything, and literally because it takes me from my parents' house, it took me about 3 hours to get to Purdue. So I had a lot of time, and when you get off at Jefferson and you take all those back roads in, oh my gosh, cell signal was spotty, and it's literally like you get off the interstate, you take a right off the interstate, and you keep going for like 45 minutes to almost an hour. Then you take a right, and then you go for another hour, and then you take another right, and then you just keep going, and then oh my god, you're in West Lafayette. Like literally, dude, how it went.
So boring. You're just like, okay, get on to 24. Okay, get on to 25. Yep. Okay, you're there. Like,
yeah, it's literally like you're constantly taking rights, and it was so easy for me to remember. I'm like, okay, so I take a right off of the Jefferson exit, and I keep going to Huntington, and I take a right after the city at that four-way, and then I keep going, and then I hit a T, and then you have to take a right.
You just have
to.
You
keep going. You have to take a right. And to keep going, you're at a roundabout, which you have to take a right to exit the roundabout.
Correct. Yep. Sure do. Yep.
And then you're in fucking West Lafayette.
There you fucking are, dude.
Yep. You're at the intersection with that like car wash, that gas station, and the vet office, and
oh my god, yes. I literally just got transported like back. I was like, whoa.
And then you're there. Then you can be like, oh, whatever way you want to get on campus.
Because there's like 18,000 different ways. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. No, that makes me really sad and nostalgic because like 2013 into 2014, like that's when I hit my prime and my peak. So like I'll never see that again, and that's okay. We do what we can.
I don't think I've hit my peak yet.
That's a good thing.
To be quite honest, like I haven't been like I hit a phase where I'm just like, oh god, like this is it. Like I'm good. Like I'm hot shit right now, you know? Like we have people have those phases. I have not hit that phase. I've always been like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
that's me. Yeah, don't look at me.
Sorry, don't look.
But don't look. Yeah, I say 2013, 2014 was rough. Those were my rough years because it's like college.
Yeah,
mental illness was really rampant, and shoulder surgery. God, that shit hurt.
Right.
That
I mean, yeah.
Hurt. Like that was the most painful thing I've ever been through was having my labrum repaired on my shoulder. Like that sucked. That really sucked.
I'm so glad I've never had surgery like that. I can't imagine.
It's just like really awkward because you have to have your arm out and on a cushion. And for anybody who hasn't had it, like it's really uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, and you have to sit and you have to sleep like sitting up because when you lay down, like the gravity like moves your shoulder. Yeah. And you really thought you have it all the way back, but you don't. And then it's just shearing pain.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No, I'm not here for it. Sorry. I'm just trying to imagine that kind of pain. But like the closest I've ever gotten was a rotator cuff injury. But like I never had to like sit up. So
yeah. I wish I had a rotator cuff injury. God. I remember I was in physical therapy with somebody from my school, and oh my God, he was crying from a rotator cuff injury. And my physical therapist was like, because I said something to him. I was like, dude, are you right? And he was like, fuck you, Kat. Like, you don't understand how bad this hurts. Like, I have a really bad injury. And we had the same physical therapist, and he's like, dude, her injury is like 3 times worse than yours. Like, they literally had to put her shoulder back together. You just have a minor tear. Like, you'll be out of here in like a couple weeks. She's gonna be in here for months.
Dude, no, men are little bitches when it comes to injuries. Like, I don't doubt that it fucking hurts, but like, you should also maybe have a little bit of perspective. And I mean, I rotated my rotator cuff when I was 11, because that's when I started pitching a lot. And being overworked at such a young age. And so thankfully my injury was young enough. I recovered, but like, you know, so I can't imagine what it's like being a little bit older and like getting it, because like the recovery time takes a lot longer. But but still, shut the fuck up. It's a muscle injury. Like, muscle injuries are a lot better to try to take care of than a lot of other things. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like the worst thing. Maybe bones are better to break than to like tear muscles. I don't know.
You've broken a bone, right?
I have not. I thought I did.
You have not. Okay.
But then it turned out not to be broken. We're talking about my ankle.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yes, I remember that.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast yet. Okay.
Oh my gosh, we have to hear this.
Oh my God, really quick. So this is when I was living in Fresno and the Winter Olympics were playing. I was watching the women's hockey team. They were playing against Canada, our rival, and we won. And I was so fucking excited. I got up, I started jumping around the living room, and then like I landed wrong on my foot, and I don't remember if I heard a snap or a pop. I'm sure I heard a pop more than a snap, but like, whoo, big girl went down real hard, real quick. Like, I was like, ooh, this isn't good. And my sister had already gone to bed, and she heard me like going like in the living room. She had absolutely nothing about it. She's like, if she's actually in pain, she'll like, or she's actually in trouble, like she'll scream for me. And I didn't scream for her because I knew she was sleeping, because she was a pharmacist on rotations at the time. Like, she needed her sleep.
Yeah.
So I crawled my ass to the couch because I couldn't stand up. And then I had to like levitate my foot myself. But anyway, long story short, we thought we broke it, but the x-ray was wrong, because when I went back in for the second time, they're like, what broken bone? You just severely sprained your ankle. And I was just like, oh, okay. I've been telling everyone it's been broken for 4 weeks, but like, that's fine. And so still don't have full mobility in it.
Well, it's hard. Swelling is really hard to see through with imaging. So
that's true.
I understand.
That is a good point.
I understand. Like, I have some issues with my ankle. I actually did. I did break my ankle.
You are such a broken human.
So this is kind of a really stupid story. It's really, really stupid. And it actually makes me really angry, because it's such a stupid story. Like, I don't have a good story for my ankle breaking. So
I don't like either, to go. So
yours was funny. When you told me yours, I literally started laughing. But I was like, "Are you okay?"
It's funny. I did.
I still pathetic. Mine's not any better.
Okay, go on. Good. Tell your story.
So, I like to go skiing. I really enjoy skiing.
Yeah.
And we went up to Michigan to go skiing. It was me, a friend of mine, and my then boyfriend. And me and the friend of mine, it was a mutual friend of ours. Him and I we know how to ski. And my boyfriend at the time did not know how to ski, but he was willing to learn. So we went, and like, we were on the medium hill. We kept going down. We were having a great time. We went on the bigger hill, and he was just he was having a really bad time. He kept falling. I remember he fell down the medium hill, and I shit you not, it was so funny. It wasn't funny for him, but it was funny for us, because we were at the bottom of the hill, and he fell, and all we heard is shit, fuck, every time he hit the ground. Because he was like rolling. Because when you fall, when you ski or snowboard, like you continuously roll down the hill usually.
Right. Right.
Unless you like flat out sideways, then you'll stop rolling. But he just kept tumbling forward, and all I heard is shit, fuck, ass, like every time he hit until he finally stopped. And he took off his skis and he walked back up the hill, and he's like, I fucking hate this bullshit. I just went back up the hill, and I'm like crying in my ski goggles because of course I made sure he was okay, but I was just like crying.
Oh my God.
So he threw like a fit. He's like, I want to stay up in the ski resort unless you come help me ski. And I was like, fine, I'll help you ski. Which I will never teach anybody to ski ever again because of this incident.
Yeah, you don't have
we
to.
went to the bunny. We went to the bunny hill, which I hate the bunny hill because they have those tug ropes.
Mm-hmm.
When you grab on, they bring you back up, and I always feel like my shoulder's gonna dislocate. So I hate those bunny hills. But when we got there, when we went, it hasn't snowed, so they had artificial snow on the hills. And we went, and I finally got him to go down the hill without falling. And then I was teaching him to, control your speed by going side to side. As I was going down, as I was getting towards the bottom, there was a hole from compact snow from kids falling, and I didn't see it. And I hit the hole, and I went forward, and I smacked the ground, and all you heard was this loud snap.
Ew.
And it didn't hurt.
Yeah,
when it happened, I actually started laughing a little bit because I was like really embarrassed that I fell. And this guy came over here, and you're right.
The only thing I was gonna say is like every time you tell this story, like the only thing I ever get out of it that I really enjoy is that as soon as you severely injure yourself, you started hysterically laughing. And people were like, are you okay?
Like that is my go-to. That's my go-to when I'm in pain, is like I can't like mentally process it, so I start laughing because I think it's so funny. Like because I picture myself falling and everything, and then I think it's really funny. Oh my God. There was this loud snap, and this random guy comes over, and he's like, are you okay? And I'm doing the whole like Peter Griffin, like hand under the knee, like trying to elevate my ankle. I'm like, no, I think I broke my ankle. And the guy's like, yeah, I could hear it. He was like on the other side of the hill. He's like, oh, I heard it from over there. I said, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was far away, and he like skied over to me. He's like, I'll call ski patrol. Yeah. And so he gets there, and my boyfriend at the time's like freaking out. Oh my God. Just like, it's fine. It's really fine. And ski patrol gets there, they have to put me on a stretcher, like a backboard and everything. And I'm cracking jokes the whole time. I was like, they picked me up, and I was like, whoo, good thing I don't weigh that much. Man, you guys are strong. I'm cracking jokes. They had to put me in a truck because I was at the bottom of the hill, and they have to drive back up the hill. And they didn't want to jar my ankle because they 100% knew it was broken. Like everybody knew it was broken. So they put me in the truck, and they stabilized my ankle, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, if I knew that I was going to have a whole bunch of like strong guys carrying me back up the hill, and I would have never used that tug rope, I would have broke my ankle sooner. And they were just dying. And I was like, what is this princess wave thing? Like, oh my God. I'm cracking jokes at the wazoo because that's how I handle pain. Right. It's just like cracking jokes and like making a good laugh about it. And oh my gosh, like my ankle never hurt when I broke that. The only time I ever felt actual like pain that I could not manage was when the bruising came in. And like I grew up where like for surgeries and stuff, like we don't take painkillers. If we do, we take like quarter doses or maybe a half dose. So I have like an insane pain tolerance. So when that bruising came in and I had my cast on, that shit hurts. And everybody who's ever had a cast and the bruising comes in understands the pain of like the swelling and then like your cast pushing on that bruise. that shit, I kid you not, I instantly popped a pill because that shit hurts.
And that day I became a pill popper.
I told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna be the lady when I'm pregnant and I'm going to the hospital. I'm like prepping my back and I'm like, I've got that epidural ready.
Yep.
I'm not doing that. Like, no natural birth. I don't care about the whole medication. Like, I need to be able not to feel my legs to walk.
Yep.
Doing this whole like birthing thing. So,
well, girl. Oh man. Injuries. You don't fuck with them, man. You don't fuck with them.
I am probably the best person to be with when she gets hurt. Like when I get hurt, it is so funny. Funny for everybody because I am so lighthearted about being hurt.
Yeah.
I crack jokes all day about the stupid shit that I just did. I fell through a dock before and my foot was like, my whole leg was stuck through the dock because it was a rotted dock. It was a rotted dock.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of the panels broke and one of it went into my leg. And I'm just joking about it. I'm like, oh my God, I've been impaled.
Am I a whale? I've been impaled.
Like I am the best person. If you get the luxury of being around me from me getting seriously hurt, like I am a joy. When they took me into the first aid building after I broke my ankle, they thought I was the best patient they've ever had. They're like, okay, like we're gonna take your boot off. This is gonna hurt because ski boots are really tight.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm mentally prepared for this. I'm like, I'm ready to feel the pain. Bring it on. And it didn't really hurt. I did make a screeching noise to see what they would do, and they all stopped, and I just laughed.
Oh my God.
And I was like, it's fine. It doesn't even hurt.
Oh my goodness. No, man.
It was funny.
I've not been injured as much as Kat, but if I have one piece of advice I can get when it comes to pain, if someone tells you something's going to be painful, always expect the absolute worst. And they get surprised when it's not that bad. I do that every time I get shots. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. And then they do it. And then I'm like, okay, well, thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
oh yeah. I always think I'm like, it's never going to be as bad as when I get my neck immobile episodes where I can't move.
Oh,
and
yeah, dude.
My shoulder pain. Like I know those two things are the worst pain I've ever felt in my life.
Yep.
And like I do have a really high pain tolerance. And if something makes me cry at a pain, that's when you know that like it is unbearable. So those I that's why I'm like, if I can handle those, I can handle anything.
Yep.
That's how I picture it. That's how I always compare it to. Like if I get a shot or something, I'm like, it's not going to be as bad as you not being able to move in the morning. Like it's not going to be as bad as having your shoulder surgery. So I'm like, it's okay.
Seriously, the take home message is everyone be fucking thankful you're not Katie, who keeps constantly getting broken and bent over and snapped in half all the time. But at least if you are going to be Kat, laugh at your pain.
That's what I do.
Don't be such a dramatic little baby.
Which is so funny because they're like, when I went to the hospital, like they're like, how are you like good right now? Like when I go in for my neck thing, because sometimes it is really bad, and like I don't laugh about it. Like I really am in a lot of pain. But when the time like those other times I could do joke about it, and I'm like, oh, like man, someone really broke my neck.
Man, someone must have really had a vendetta. Wringing my neck.
Yeah, so people always underestimate, like they always go like, she's really not in that much pain. And I'm like, whatever. Like I'm hurting inside.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, just growing up doing sports, I mean, I never laughed or had like laughing fits whenever I got injured, but I mean, like you get hurt enough, then it's like
Mm-hmm.
now as an adult, if like anything happens, like, I have like my knee issues. Every time
Yeah.
my knee starts to hurt, I'm always like, oh yeah, this is painful, but at least it's not getting hit with a
Manageable.
softball at like 75 miles per hour right at my
Gosh,
thigh.
it
And then
hurts.
the bruise was so big it covered half of my thigh and left a little Nike mark. Um,
You
you
gotta
know,
love that.
things like that. Yeah, I don't know if I still have that picture or not, but it was one of the coolest bruises I ever had, and it came at my very first college softball game.
I love it.
Yep, it was dope.
I
It
love
was
that.
dope. The
I,
hazards
I
of
don't
being a pitcher.
I have to think the best, like the coolest injury I had was I tore my quad in a track meet.
Oh shit.
And I was doing, we were at like one of those like tournaments, tournaments.
Tournaments.
Okay, because I call them tournaments.
I mean, in the Midwest, we say tournaments. Usually.
So we had the tournament, and I was in the 100-yard dash because I did sprinting and I did mid distance. So I was in the 100-yard dash, and it was cold. Like it was so freaking cold out.
Cold muscles and it.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
And I should have known the sign. Like I was warming up for 20 minutes and stretching, doing like a whole bunch of stuff, and I felt tight. But like it was time to do the race. I hit the 50-meter mark, and I just hear a snap.
Oh.
And I tore my quad. But that's not the cool part.
Okay.
The painful part was I had to get scrapings done to get the knots out of the torn muscle. But
okay, like over your skin. Okay.
Yeah, so I had to get so it's basically taking like a putty knife.
Oh, yeah.
And they rub it. Yeah, you've seen those. They rub them down your leg to get the knots out. That was painful. But I had the coolest bruise going from my hip bone all the way down to my knee. Like
nice.
That was the coolest bruise ever. Will I ever get scrapings again? I rather not, but it was cool.
No, that's the thing. It's like that's also what I loved about being an athlete is like you would get these bruises and then you're covered in bruises and they're all like badges of honor.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and it was so cool. It's like, oh, look at this bruise, like this scrape, this cut, like,
Yeah.
or like you get stitches and you're like, look at my cool scar or like whatever.
I know, yeah. I got cool shoulder scars now.
Yeah. Dude, I love scars. I think they're
too.
So cool.
Me too.
I think I have like 2 scars, but regardless, I had so many bruises, especially since I played softball like all the time. And yeah, that was just a recipe for a disaster on top of being a pitcher. And I would hit my left leg with my left glove, like coming down, like every single time. And my coach kept being like, stop doing that. You're going to get varicose veins when you're older. And I was like, that's what surgery's for. Yeah,
oh well.
Yeah, I didn't believe half the shit she said. So don't worry about it. But that was the only thing I remembered.
Hey, we have a lot of injury stories. We could keep going on, but I think it's time to do our recommendations.
I think you're right.
For the evening. All right.
I think you're right.
Is it my turn or is it your turn to go first?
It is my turn this week. I do remember that. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to suggest if you haven't watched anything from the Marvel universe in a long time and you're into superhero movies, do that. Specifically WandaVision and Doctor Strange. So really like those movies. I've been watching WandaVision. It's a little slow in the beginning, but once you get into it, it's like all these like things unravel and it's just like a really interesting story. And then so I'm on episode 7 right now. By the time this episode goes out, 8 will be out. But like the end of episode 7 was like, oh wait, the next movie is supposed to be Doctor Strange, but I never even watched the first one. So then I had like a little mini like Marvel episode or marathon or whatever this weekend. So you can tell I have so much to recommend because I have to be like, I watched a movie that half the world's already seen. So anyway, that's my recommendation. But Kat's got a cool one, so we're just gonna rush it over to her.
Okay, so everybody knows about I always do music. So my baby brother, he's not really a baby, okay? He's like shit, he's 23, gonna be 24. But I call him my baby brother.
He's a very hairy baby. Yes, go on. Sorry.
So so he played a song and I was like, oh my gosh, like I love the original of the song. So the song is called The Thrill, and there's a part in the song where I mean it's in a lot of it by the Empire of the Sun.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah.
So their song that everybody knows is in it, and so they did a partnering with Wiz Khalifa, and they did a song called The Thrill. So it's basically kind of like a remix of that song.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really cool. It's really, really cool. When my brother started playing it, because the intro is of that song. And I was like, why do I know this? And then it started playing. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is great. So I highly recommend The Thrill.
I just need to re-listen to Empire of the Sun song that everyone lost their shit over in like 2017.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I love that. Also, you recommended the remix of the Wombats last week.
Yes.
Greek Tragedy.
Yes.
And I did like the song, but then I was like, but I kind of forget like how the original went. And then I went and listened to the original, and I was just like, I forgot how much I fucking love this song. Like it was, it still slaps to this day.
I love the Wombats.
You gotta, if you have not listened to the original along with the Oliver Nelson remix of Greek Tragedy, you gotta do it.
It's awesome. That's awesome. I'm here to bring back the spices of life of old music.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
There you go.
There we go.
Well, that is the end of this episode.
It is. It is. And now that you're done listening to our episode, go follow us on Instagram at Kat&Dre. If you're watching us on YouTube, hello, thank you. Go ahead and subscribe if you feel like it, and then also give it a thumbs up. And let's see, TikTok is still at Kat&Dre. Gonna roll that out. I know we said we were coming out with Twitch soon, but haven't quite got there yet. But
we've been busy. We've been busy doing other things.
We've been busy. Kat gave me her PC. I got it all set up. It yelled at me while I was setting it up, and it really scared the absolute shit out of me.
I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you that.
No, you're fine. I was like, who is this?
It's got its own little
talking?
Siri. Yeah.
But anyway, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.